Welcome, YouTube audience.
Welcome everybody to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gomar and am a podcast assistant here. Um, and we're excited to have uh, Shalaine Stebner here with us today, who is a musician, who I believe was referred to us by our very own Jay Stoyan, from the Disability Channel. It's headquartered in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Um, and so, um, guess with nothing further to do, may I bring Shalaine in, and may know Shalaine for not very long, last few months here. She was on one of our other shows, Ability MK Now, recently as well. Um, but I am going to bring in Shalaine here. So welcome, Shalaine. So this is
Hello,
exciting.
thanks
So
for having me.
you're welcome. So great, Curtis, great to have Shalaine with us today, right?
That's right. This is great. We're doing repeat performances here. You mentioned Ability MK now. We're looking forward to having Shalaine back on with my wife Sue and do another radio show Blitz and continuing all this great, and vibing in music that Jay Stoyan, one of our friends from all the work we do at the Disability Channel, it's all one big happy family. So Shalaine's part of the TDC family, which means she's also a part of the World Ability family here. And so we're going to all be recommending the great music here by Shalaine. Thanks for providing, Shalaine. You're doing good.
Absolutely, my absolute pleasure.
Um, so Shalaine, I guess maybe to maybe you want to say a little bit about who you are, what you do.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I've been playing music. I've been singing forever. I when 2020 hit and the world kind of got weird, I got kind of down to writing music a little bit more. My husband was laid off and he kind of hit rock bottom, and so seeing him go through all of his struggles kind of inspired me to start writing more. And then after starting writing and then then starting recording and then putting myself out there a little bit more and a little bit more. Then I found myself with this amazing platform and a lot to say. And I think that that's one of our most important things is that when we're given a platform like this, that we should use it for what's in our heart and for the better. So I love talking about mental health. I love talking. I have my own mental health struggles. I've experienced watching other people struggle. I've experienced loss. And so I think that it's really important that we share the word that you're not alone and that there's always somebody that's willing to listen and that wants you at their table. So that's kind of my heart's work, is just spreading the love.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, so now we were talking about this village channel. Like, how did you get uh connected with Jay or find Jay or that whole?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I got hooked up with Big Records out of Vancouver, and so Mark Rosner and Jay Stoyan they're quite buddy buddy. So it only made sense that I also started working with Jay, and all of the work that Jay does with the Disability Channel is, it's so admirable. It's amazing. It's the kind of stuff that, like, when you're laying in bed thinking like, how can I make a difference? That's what he's doing, is he's finding ways to make a difference. And so we actually just recently, on February 2nd, we were out in Vancouver doing a fundraiser for the Disability Channel and for veterans. And so we raised a bunch of money so that we can start to bring a pilot program of the Disability Channel to BC, so that we can maybe start the process of hiring people with disabilities, whether it's mental or physical or whatever, and finding jobs for them. That's his main goal. And so I was so blessed and so lucky to be able to go out there and be able to share my voice, and be able to add to their cause.
I'm glad it went well, or that happened.
Yeah, it was fun. When you get a bunch of musicians together, we get a little crazy. So it was it was really good. And I think you can watch it on the Hive Music. They have they did all of the recording for it, so you can rewatch it on Hive Music, and you can watch it and support us.
So, Gary, do you have any questions at the moment?
Well, as we're talking about these things with the Disability Channel and fundraising and the work of Jay Stoyan, he has this whole realm of so we got kind of a Can-Am thing going, all this Canadian work and USA work, and we're working with Spirit of the Game for the global outreaches of all this, and so we're really working in this concept of Woodstock meets We Are the World, a solution
Mm.
revolution. Back in October, we did the birth of a movement, and so we've got a lot going on, and Jay is helping us fashion a telethon. And
Ooh.
so yeah, he's going to be part of the emceeing of the telethon. He's going to be, really bringing out Canada from Toronto, and we're going to rally around this. He's orchestrating how we're going to be, um, doing this with Project Die Hard,
Mhm.
veteran service organization that has a base in McCann, Illinois, headquarters in Paducah, Kentucky. And, so we're going to be doing a multi-location event with the People for a New America group out of Los Angeles. And so my wife and I are going to be supporting with Emily here out of Wisconsin. And so we're just going to do a big rally, for veterans, and we're going to be working through People for New America. We have a Veterans First initiative talking about gift cards, and with the Disability Channel, we have digital ventures, which teaches people the television industry, radio industry, video production, sound production, which can translate people want to plunge into the music industry to learn about
Mhm.
audio editing and all of those types of things. So we're looking at May 3rd for this telethon. And so Jay is promising he's going to bring a little bit of a Jerry Lewis spark, to the whole thing. So that'll be fun. So Shalaine, I hope you're going to be able to be involved at that point in
Yeah,
time. Know what you're going to be doing
absolutely.
on
Yeah. Yeah.
Saturday.
Jay and I have talked about it actually briefly, and he said that he wants to do a little bit of a music component to it as well. So I am 100% in for that, and that will be so fun.
Yeah, so it's a big party planning thing here. We're trying to get people on board and create 8 hours of an experience that the world will never forget. So Emily, you're game for being a big part of that whole thing too, right, Emily?
Sure. There's anything I could do to help with it,
Yeah, Emily loves her parties. She parties daily until like 3 in the morning, so
3 in the morning is so far past bedtime for me.
yep, Emily just keeps going and going. She's a night owl, Emily.
I'm trying to bring back matinees for music so that I don't have to play till midnight, because midnight is very late for me. But if we could play it from like 2 to 5, that would be perfect, because then we'd still have enough time to get home and in bed.
There you go. So first shift opportunities. So Emily, come on into this here. We're talking about a music experience that Shalaine provides. We're talking about, life struggles. I'm sure your life isn't free of struggles, right, Emily?
No, I don't think anybody is free of struggles. So it's a point in their life.
So is this like something people should have in their medicine cabinet? Just have those Shalaine Stebner tracks just ready to go. Go to the medicine cabinet. Be like,
Yeah,
mental health experience.
absolutely. I'm in pill form. I actually I we just recorded a song, and hopefully it's coming out soon, but it's called Somebody Cares. And I was doing a chat with Chris Powers, and we were kind of joking about the idea that somebody cares, and I think it's actually quite a really really powerful message that a lot of times we forget. When you're all stuck in the cycle of hardship. So I definitely think that when that song comes out, I hope that that's in everybody's back. They're in their first aid kit when they need a little bit of a pick me up. It's just a good reminder that somebody cares.
That's perfect. So, Emily, with your work, what does that make you think of? We were just talking about your lineup of podcasts you do every week, and so what does it make you think of that she just talked about there?
The CARES Foundation. That's the first thing I thought when she said CARES. CARES Foundation is kind of all about education, um, prevention, someone with especially youth, on like the dangers of drunk driving, peer pressure, a little bit of distracted driving. There's a few different things, but I think the main thing I think is drunk driving. Um, CARES Foundation is a uh kind of in memory of um the founder's mother and sister who were lost to a drunk driver. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
so that was interesting.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a, camp in June. So maybe it'd be a natural thing that maybe Emily can help connect you to Todd Lingle, who is the founder, and then the name comes from his mother's name was Karen, and his sister's name was Shelley, and so that's where the Kares comes from, mom and
Oh,
sister.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I think we have some connections to be made and some people doing work that if they find out about your music that they'll want to bring it in and make it part of the program,
That'd be
because
amazing. Yeah.
imagine your music being played during this camp, as people are going through all these programs. So yeah, it's drunk driving, message for everybody, all ages, to make sure we're not doing that. And the kids part comes from that he was 4 years old when this
Oh.
happened, so to be in his midlife now and to think of he just has very vague memories of his mom and sister. Most of the memories around this collision where he lost them and the funeral and all that. So he's very much in this space of mental health and preventative, to avoid these issues and kind of get the public service announcements out there that people can rethink, when you're
Mhm.
tempted to, combine drinking and driving and just make sure people kind of have that little reflex like, nope, not going to do it. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's always an option. And I think that sometimes people forget that, or they think, oh, it's fine. I'll just do whatever. I'll just go, right? And I think that the reminder that there's always an option and there's always somebody that you can call and there's always a way to get home other than drinking and driving. There was quite an unfortunate, and I don't follow hockey very well, but we had in Canada, we lost two very big hockey prodigies not that long ago from drunk driving, and it's just one of the most unnecessary things. So it is something that everybody should rally behind for sure.
Yeah, and it's a, group thing, friends think, need to think about this, the messages out there, friends don't let friends drive drunk and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And then you got all the responsibility of the establishment and the bartenders and so
Yes.
it takes everybody to rally around this to
Yeah.
one way or another catch it before it happens.
Yeah.
So
Takes a community.
That's exactly right. So yeah, so with Todd Lingle and CARES Foundation, we have every Wednesday at 9:45 we get on Restream, like Jay likes to do, and he produces his productions, the Restream platform, and Emily works with Todd to produce the Who Cares
Mm.
show by with Todd Lingle by the CARES Foundation. And so I think that'd be interesting to get you and Todd
Ooh.
talking on another podcast live stream, from the work they all do there. And, you can bring out that story again,
Yeah,
about.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So Emily, are you ready for a musical interlude, or are you still searching? Still,
And, I have our YouTube channel up here, so
is it ready, or you need a little bit of time to have it ready? Are you ready?
we'll have our YouTube channel up here and share the YouTube channel and then play one of the songs there.
You ready to play it? You bringing it up? All right, here we go. Just want to make sure we're committing to it. Here we go. Enjoy a little bit of music by Shalaine. Here you go. Take a look at that channel. Find that YouTube channel and give it a subscription.
When I started Walton Goggins Goggle Glasses, I knew I'd be its
Oh,
fancy name
Danny.
and pretty face,
All right.
but I didn't know how to turn all this fancy.
Here we go. Now we can skip.
That was me in the goggles.
West of town on 53 in the middle of nowhere. Nestled back in the trees where you can breathe the cleanest air. A husband and his wife tried to make the land their own. Raise a family and teach them all that they had known. Well, I was a wild child, I could never stay home. All around the countryside, I had the urge to roam. All the roads I traveled on taught me lessons in their own way. Some were hard, but the best ones didn't happen when I was away. No, the best ones happened when my wheels hit that dirt road that raised me and taught me right from wrong. How to love and how to cuss and how to be.
So there you go. Dirt Road Raised. I mean, are we hearing a little bit of autobiography in there? Are you singing too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I grew up in the middle of nowhere. There was no friends that lived near me for miles around. So it definitely, I mean, we live in a small town now. So growing up in the middle of nowhere, it was a whole different experience than what my children are experiencing now. But you look up and you see the stars, and you can hear nature, and all of the things that are on this amazing planet. And we the small town that we live in now is quite, I mean, again, it's small, so it's not like it's a big city by any means. We have maybe 7,000 people that live here, but at the same time, my kids like to go down the street and play with somebody, and I'm like, I never got to do that when I was little, right? So yeah, so it was and I truly think that no matter where you were born and where you lived, we all at some point grew up on a dirt road somewhere, whether we were out partying or whatever, driving down a dirt road, just experiencing nature. I think we all kind of found ourselves somewhere along a dirt road.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a brother in Iowa, the countryside of Solon, Iowa, a ways from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So yeah, where he lives, there's a dirt road there. It's not one that we have to go on, but there's some stories about people coming to their house and they went down the dirt road. And just trying to think of the dirt roads in my life. Well, my wife, she grew up in Rice Lake, Wisconsin, which is, a country area. The city of Rice Lake, kind of has, quite a bit to it, but I call it the center of nowhere. because you get away from Rice Lake, Wisconsin. You're out in the sticks, out, out in the
That's where
wilderness.
all the good stuff happens.
That's right.
Out in
There's
the
a little
sticks.
community up there called Minong, and wow. Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about a country experience and getting out with some country folks that fit the stereotype of country folk. And I went up into that tavern that was, two mobile home trailers put together. And they just had, a little box for a cashier and so I basically, you know, somebody bought a round of drinks, and whatever. So, and then they got they put a, $20 bill on the table and, we all had drinks. And so then I get my $20 bill out. We all had drinks. And all of a sudden I looked at it and I'm like, my change is different than their change. I'm like, oh, that's country.
Yep,
Uh,
that's true.
there you go. There must be some economics that I haven't learned about countryside economics. But yeah, dirt roads up there and when you say dirt roads, I think of some, roads out in the countryside and whatever. I grew up going to a place in Wisconsin called Red Granite, Wisconsin, and Pearl Lake, and we got into where there's a lot of tree growth and stuff. So it wasn't exactly a dirt road entirely. It's like the dirt was where the tires went, and
Yes.
then there would be that growth,
Yeah.
in between the tires and then outside of the tire path, So I have a lot of memories of that, dirt roads in terms of you're driving on dirt, but everything else is overgrowth, you know, stuff
It's
that
easy to stay on the road that way because you know where it's at.
Oh yeah, yeah. For us here in Wisconsin, we need that guidance. It's kind of like in Milwaukee, we have a coordinate system. Where our address is like my house here is N79W22125,
Oh
and,
my
and that's the
gosh.
coordinate. So to get to my house, you go to the center of Milwaukee, you go north 75 blocks, and then you go west 225 blocks.
What if
Right.
you lose count?
I think it's a sobriety test. It's like if you're that bad off, you don't deserve to get home or something. I don't know.
I feel like I'd get to about 42 and then I'd lose count.
Well, fortunately, they put signs up for those of us with bad memory. You can look
Yeah.
at the other houses as cheat sheet. Like, what's their house? All right, now I know relative to that now.
In my OCD brain though, I'd have to count it. Like if I lost count, I'd have to start again. So
Hey, that could be part of the fun, a good way to pass time.
yeah.
It's kind of like the joke about with driveways. We have a joke around here, if you want to keep the folks busy around here, put a roundabout in your driveway, you'd have them here indefinitely. What do you think of that, Emily? That's talk you haven't heard. Emily and I have known each other 4.5 years, and she always hears new material come out of my mouth, right, Emily?
Yeah.
There you go. All right, Emily, this is the time, your OMG, EMG moment. You get to give Shalaine the last question. We're in wrap-up time here, so Shalaine gets one last question. Emily, what's your question?
That's right. I guess what's like your favorite thing about what you're doing, Shalaine?
My favorite thing. I love every aspect of the music industry. I love the writing, I love the recording. But my most favorite thing is performing. Because you get to get up there and you get to sing. I personally love being the center of attention, so it's only natural that I get to be up on stage. But I just love that, when you play, you have this captive audience and you can tell them anything and they'll believe you, right? So it definitely I love the interaction and I love the connection that comes along with this. Because really I get to meet so many people from so many different places, get to meet y'all from Wisconsin or that's how you say it, Wisconsin. Um, So, it's the connection. It's the people, that's what keeps me, and the stories that you hear, when you play a song and somebody comes up and says like, oh, that song reminded me of this story of mine, and then they tell you this amazing story of theirs. So that's my favorite, is 100% the connection, and then and the meeting of people.
Cool. Do you have any last questions from you, Kurt? Or any last comments?
Um, well, Shalaine, maybe just to kind of give a little bit more of a characterization of what you do and how you do it. Any more you can add in terms of, how you're finishing February and into March, so week and weeks ahead, give us a little bit more of a sample of what you do on your calendar.
Absolutely. So I have my new song, One Dive Bars, coming out March 28th. And that'll be on all streaming platforms. So that one I'm really, really excited about. I got to record it with a bunch of guys from Nashville. And it's kind of like that, when you talked about that one bar that was kind of too too mobile, stuck together, you think of like the diviest bar with like the nasty rug that probably should have been ripped out years ago, and so it's just the things that keep you coming back to the places that you probably shouldn't go back to. So I've got that coming out on March 28th, and we're doing a little bit of a release party, so that will be super fun. You can find me on all social media platforms except for TikTok, because I don't understand TikTok very well. But Instagram and Facebook, you can find me on there. I have a website, www.shalainestebner.com. I'm also a hairdresser, so I spend a lot of time behind the chair, and I've got 2 kids and a husband. So, we're always busy. There's never a dull moment. So when I get to sleep in, it's cherished.
There you go. Is that a song in the making? 2 kids and a husband? That sounds like a
Maybe. Have you seen my 2 kids and a husband?
yeah, right. There could be some rich content with that song. So I look forward to that one. Yeah, for me, it's a wife, daughter, and a dog. So,
Oh, perfect. Yes.
all right, Emily, why don't you take us on out of here? Give us your wrap up and all of your announcements.
And thanks, Shalaine, for joining us today. So it's awesome. And you're welcome back anytime. Um, encourage everybody to check us out on our social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and so on. And encourage everybody to check out people that we're working with, such as Jay Story the Disability Channel, Marcus Hart of Transform U, Zach Clayton of the Pack Channel, Lawrence Wingate of Wingate Studios, and Earl Williams of the Rice Plains Podcast. The great work that they're doing. I guess until next time, hope everybody has a safe and productive weekend and week, and to